Imagine smoggy skies, people breathing toxic air, schools shut down. Now, that has been Delhi's unfortunate reality year after year. It's a nightmare playing on loop when the pollution levels shoot up. But what if I told you that China was also going through something quite similar in 2013? In fact, let's just rewind a bit further and take you back to 2005. Beijing was regarded the smog capital of the world. Reports suggest over 2.6 million people lost their lives due to air pollution that year. Let that sink in. However, years later, a lot has changed, with reports suggesting that the people of Beijing are breathing cleaner air as compared to earlier. According to a report in the Lancet Planetary Health Journal, around 12,000 people die from air pollution in Delhi each year. 12,000. On November 19, Delhi's AQI, or Air Quality Index, reached 750 reportedly. That's not all. The air quality reached hazardous standards and turned severe plus on some days. Meanwhile, on the very same day, 19 November, Beijing registered an AQI of just 137. At this point, you may be wondering, why are we comparing Delhi with Beijing? You see, the source of pollution for both is not all that different. In fact, it's quite similar. Vehicular emissions, coal-fired power plants, industrial smoke. However, when it comes to Delhi, an additional contributor is the smoke from stubble burning, a very crucial factor. Reports suggesting China has been the world's largest emitter of greenhouse gases for more than 15 years. And what's more, it accounts for well over 30% of annual global emissions. So the big question is, what did China do differently? What led to what can be called a dramatic transformation? You see, massive public outrage over toxic air in China in the last decade forced the government to take action, to the effect that the former Chinese Premier Li Keqiang had reportedly declared a war against pollution. According to a New York Times report, China set aside $100 billion for the multi-year mission, as well as releasing a national air action plan, which basically required China to reduce pollution by 25%. Beg your pardon, 25%. And what's more, China also became more transparent and it started publishing its air quality data for the first time. And over the years, China implemented clean-up technologies fitted to coal-burning power stations and industrial plants. According to the New York Times, in fact, China upgraded 200,000 industrial boilers and switched to natural gas from coal as the source of electricity for 6 million households. What's more, as per the New York Times, China discarded 20 million old vehicles and implemented tighter emission control measures in new vehicles. Government figures showing that particle pollution in Beijing reduced by more than 60% from 2013 to the end of 2022. What this basically means is that, staying true to its commitment, China fought the pollution crisis head-on, on a war footing. What explains this massive development? Is it political will, allocation of enough money, resources to nip the crisis in the bud? Perhaps something that Delhi can take cues from? You see, even as the government took steps to combat the pollution crisis, including emergency measures based on the Graded Response Action Plan, or GRAP, or the odd-even plan for that matter, to limit the number of vehicles on the roads, among other measures, it simply has not been enough, given the magnitude of the crisis, which needs a more proactive stance. Just think about how many lives get impacted due to the toxic air, which is now an annual crisis. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.